It's a San Jacinto Trail report from San Jacinto Peak right there behind me on 31st of December 2023 at just after 9 in the morning. Keep this brief. There's a fresh light dusting of snow, probably averaging about 1.5 inches up here at San Jacinto Peak. You can see it over my shoulder there on San Gorgonio as well. Take a look around and you can also see it down in the Desert Divide along the PCT, just dusted down there to about 7,000 feet. I was a little surprised to find that it had dusted as low as Humber Park, about 6,500 feet this morning, but it's fairly consistent. It's about 1 inch of fresh at Saddle, a little bit more at about 9,000 feet there, but then back down to about 1 inch at Wellman Divide at 9,700. Not much snow was left from previous storms, so it's probably averaging only about 2 inches here at San Jacinto Peak. That is actually the lowest total in living memory, possibly ever on record, at in the San Jacinto High Country as of the 1st of January. So that's the not so good news. That is, to yesterday's was the 9th storm of the winter, remarkably, although they've only added up to about 10 inches of snow at San Jacinto Peak. So obviously each one's fallen, then largely melted because it's been so thin, and then we've added on again, which is why we have so little up here. The better news is that things will change quite dramatically in January 2024. We have 3 storms lined up already. The first of those is on Wednesday, that's the 3rd. Another fairly minor one, perhaps another couple of 3 inches up here, maybe a little more. The big one is next weekend. That's the 5th and 6th, I believe, maybe 6th and 7th of January, and that could be pretty major. That'll be our first major storm of the winter. It's expected to be very cold. Usually once or twice every winter we get one really cold storm where it's cold enough to snow down to 3,000 feet, and next weekend looks like it will be the one. Projections vary pretty wildly for snow in the high country, but most of them seem to be around a couple of feet. Dusting, like I say, potentially below 4,000, maybe even as low as 3,000 feet, and expecting perhaps as much as 6 inches of snow in mid-elevations, for example, Idlewild. But there'll be more on that as we get into those storms. And otherwise, a beautiful day up here. Snow depths are good for microspikes or microspikes equivalent. Still far too shallow for snowshoes or crampons, but obviously that's going to change over the course of the next week to 10 days. And safe hiking, everyone.